All right, so today I am here with Roger, the owner of Grower Solution. And as a lot of you know, given our recent content, this is going to be our 20-year anniversary this year. And I'm going to ask him some questions about growers' history and things that happened back in the day. So, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, first question. How did Grower Solution get started, and where did the idea come from?
You know, really, I just didn't want to work for anybody. I wanted to work for myself. I thought that was the best thing. I have an awful lot of entrepreneur spirit, and one thing led to another, and I just wanted to work for myself.
Come here.
Mommy!
Come on. Okay. 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 Let's not cover my mic.
This is going to be different.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your setup like back then? Where did it start?
Setup started in, maybe Tim will get a picture of the house, but we just worked out of the old farmhouse, smallest bedroom in the house. Then we went to the next bedroom. The boys had already left at that time and were out on their own. And yeah, it was not much. And we started with dial-up internet. Yeah, dial-up internet. Some of y'all remember it. A lot of you probably don't. It was not fun.
I still know the tone. I can still hear the tone.
Yeah, I can hear the tone. Yeah.
Now, this was Growers eventually, right?
This was Growers, and actually we are sitting right next to, it was a big deal. The first concrete slab we poured was right here, and it was this building here. It's the old shop. Then we built the warehouse just real quick afterwards. Behind us, and then at the same time we built some offices out here. We started bending the original greenhouses with just manual jigs. They were on the wall of a barn that was off to one side here. It has been since been taken down. That's where we started, and then, by golly, I thought I was in high society, tall cotton, when we got a 3-roll bender and started bending greenhouses, and went from there. And yeah, that's where it started.
Do you remember the first thing you ever sold?
It probably wasn't even on the website. It probably was through eBay. That's where I got my start, and I always was hustling stuff on eBay, but it was probably peat pots and flats and inserts. I can tell you, we sold I had an agreement with one of our vendors to sell shade cloth and sell greenhouse film, and they agreed to just ship it directly to the customer, so I didn't even have to deal with it. I just paid them for it, and they shipped it. And that relationship still is ongoing today with them. They were literally my first true vendor. So
they gave you a big break.
They gave me a big break.
Okay, so what's one thing that you tried that totally flopped? Did you learn a lesson from it?
No, I never learned lessons. I'm always game to try stuff. You know that, Morgan. There were several things. I became a dealer for composting toilets. And if I bought 4 toilets, if I sold 3 of them, it paid for one. And we needed a composting toilet in this particular facility here back in the day.
I was about to say, didn't you use one at
Yeah,
Growers?
we used it. Yeah, and they work. I'll just say they work. And then, I did. I was going to corner the market on designer socks with dogs and birds, and I can't even remember all the different things on them, different types of dogs and stuff.
You had holiday socks, too.
Holiday socks, that's right. Yeah. It's just all kinds of crazy socks, and there's a market for that, but trust me, it's not in this industry.
That's an easy card add-on, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Let's
We
bring
can
the bird
add
socks
it.
back.
We can add it on. No,
Petition
please,
to bring the
please
bird
don't.
socks. What do you think keeps people coming back to Growers Solution?
You know, I hope the reason people come back to growers is we try real hard to treat people like they want to be treated, like we would be treated. We try and give them a fair price and a fair product, all in, and especially now, things, you just, everybody has to watch your money. And we want to have the proper knowledge for them. And, you know, we've got a lot of folks that have got a lot of experience. Not that other companies don't also, but we just have a lot of folks that have growing experience. And if one person doesn't know the answer, somebody else probably does, and they just kind of bounce it off each other, and you can find out the answer pretty easily. But anyway, we just try and treat people fairly.
I mean, I'll add on to that a little bit. I mean, most companies that you call nowadays, you're going to talk to a robot, or you're going to get a recorded message, or they don't even have a phone line.
Yeah.
And every time you call Grower Solution, you are talking to someone in our front office.
And it is not AI.
If you chat on our website, you are talking to someone in the front office sitting there on the computer.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not implemented any of the AI in that fact at all. I mean, when you talk to us, you're talking to a real person. And that's hard to come by nowadays.
Hopefully it's somebody that either knows the answer or they're going to find that answer out. And that's the big difference. You go to some companies, not all of them by any means, but some companies, and it's just their customer service isn't the best. I'll just say that. And I'll be honest, we probably don't have it perfect every day either.
No.
So
No.
everybody has bad days.
But at least you get to talk to someone, and we will do everything we can to get the answer to whatever they're needing.
Yep.
It might not be immediate. We might have to call them back, but we'll always call them back.
Yep.
So, have you had any customers that have really made an impression on you?
You know, we have some local customers that just good people, just farmers trying to make a living. But at the same time, you know, we have sold to probably the majority of major universities in the United States. We've sold to NASA. Of course, they're not any longer, but Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. We've sold shade cloth to them. I've sold to people that were just starting their business in the beginning, and they bought their first greenhouse from us, or they bought their first, let's say, 50 irrigation sprinklers, and to this day we still sell them stuff, and they buy more greenhouses, and I've watched their business grow also. You know, it's a hard business. It's farming, by golly. That's what it is. It's farming and it's agriculture, and everybody needs to work together.
I mean, there were customers, because I was sales staff before I was in this position. I mean, I still remember certain customers to this day. I'll see their names pop up on the caller ID, and it's just, I always dealt with them. They were fantastic people, and I was able to help them, and it made a lasting impact in my mind. I still remember the customer I sold my very first greenhouse to. And as soon as I see his name pop up on the caller ID, I'm like, I remember you.
And I have several people like that, and I'm embarrassed to say there's been so many people over the years, and my memory's not as good as it used to be. Sometimes I might have to even fake that I remember them, because I just don't remember sometimes. But, you know, one other thing, and I just think of this customer. They were down southern Tennessee, Shelbyville area. It's where the big walking horse festival is. But the dad was a Frito-Lay, he worked for Frito-Lay down there. And he had his two daughters that were wanting to raise chrysanthemums in the fall. Well, the boys and I used to raise chrysanthemums in the fall. We do somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500, and then the boys would sell them. And it was just a learning experience for everybody, but it kept us busy. So I have good knowledge about mums, and this guy wanted to do it for his daughters, and to this day, this is, his daughters are probably 16, 17, 18 years old. They've been doing it for 10, 12 years. And every year, I don't always get to talk to them, but somebody talks to them and they're buying them replacement parts for the irrigation or expanding. And he was doing that for a college fund for his daughters. And, he's still doing it after all this time. And he still remembers me. I still remember him. And, I'm sure his daughters are much older and they might not be as excited about working in the mum field anymore, but I remember when they were, so.
I mean, Jacob talks about how he bought his first car with mum money.
Yep.
Selling mums. That's what he did to buy his first car.
That's right.
How have Grower Solution products helped customers over the years?
Well,
I mean, my first thought goes straight to greenhouses.
Greenhouses, and not everybody uses it. The greenhouse is a greenhouse. We use them. Some people use them to cover their koi ponds in the winter. Some people use it to winterize their swimming pools. We've sold them to protect rock salt for contractors up north that keeps their rock salt dry. It's just amazing what you can use it for.
Chicken coops.
Chicken coops is a big one. Yeah. Chicken coops and goat coops and butterfly arboretums. And we have sold several of those to several major companies throughout the country. And they just convert them and it works out wonderful. So,
Yep. Do you have a memorable, this is similar to a previous one, but do you have a memorable customer story that stands out? I think that kind of goes with the mom.
Yeah, the mom one sticks out. I can think of another person that's just hung, I can think of a couple people, but one person that just hung with me buying irrigation supplies. She raised, she was a nurseryman. She raised baby trees. And she did them in flats, and she had to do her irrigation, and she trusted me with what my recommendations were, and she's trusted me, 15, 16, 17 years, that long. Then we've got another customer out west in Colorado, I think she was in Colorado, that has been with us, and it's kind of the other crop to grow, and that is, it's medical marijuana, and their business is that, and they've been with us a long time. It's not a big operation. It's just a husband, wife, and kids, and they're just making a good living and living the dream. That's the way they're living the dream. That's a big thing. This industry allows people to, I know we say it jokingly, but allows you to live the dream.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of people do have a true passion for this industry.
Yep, very much so.
I would say, going along with the memorable customer story, we have a lot of, I don't want to say dedicated irrigation customers, but we have a lot of people who trust us to help them build the right system for them. Because I know that was one of the first experiences I had when I started, was irrigation calls all the time. And people wanting to know what products would be best for their gardens or greenhouses, and they have that trust in us. And we do everything we can to make sure that they have the right products that they need.
I would agree. We try, and it's off and on, and we don't have a whole lot of turnover with our staff anyway, normally. But we try and get the staff out and hands-on and make them put stuff together. Like, let's just talk drip irrigation for a minute. How do you punch a hole in that blue stripe or white stripe tubing, and then you get it in there, and some of the tricks of the trade to make it work easier, like a needle-nose set of needle-nose pliers or something like that.
Yeah.
So
we do a lot of education.
They do a lot of the education. Do we do enough? I don't think you can ever do enough. Heavens, I'm an old dog and I'm still learning stuff.
The industry changes so quickly.
It really does.
By the time you think you know it, there's already 10 other things out there.
And that you make a good statement about the industry. I have people that are, I'll say 15 years my senior, that do nursery or greenhouse the old way. not the new way. And the old way works just as good. Old way a lot of times is cheaper. It's just that people think bigger, better, faster is always better, and in the nursery industry, it's not. You can still make a really good living off of it. In the greenhouse industry, you just got to kind of know the tricks, and it helps when somebody is able to pass some of those tricks on, and I think we do a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
So.
And you don't always have to be fancy. If
No.
it works, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and the other thing is you can talk to 10 nurserymen or 10 greenhouse growers, and all 10 of them will do it. Every one of them will do it different, and every one of them successful. You have to find out what works for you.
What are some innovations or improvements that have shaped Grower Solution?
Innovations, gosh, and improvements. We've gotten some equipment over the years for re-rolling big master rolls of product like ground cover or plastic mulch, and we re-roll into smaller. We've gone, I mentioned it earlier, we went from literally a jig bender by hand that the hydraulics was in your arm, and went to a 3-roll bender, which is still a nightmare. And now we have CNC benders that take the time and cut it into, instead of minutes to do a bow completely through, it takes seconds to do the bow. That's just one. And the fact that we use more metal processing equipment, I mean, it's been a learning process for us. It always will be. Right now we are in the process of our latest equipment is we've started a new product with ground cover that cuts the holes in it to pre-plant. It's called Easy Plant. Take ground cover. You can take that to the bank. And we're looking forward to getting that rocking and rolling. It's taken us a little longer to get everything going like I wanted it, but that's all right. We'll still have access to it here soon. But I've tried to make sure that we try and add a new piece of equipment that can help the business. We have a wiggle wire machine that manufactures wiggle wire for our wire lock systems that hold the greenhouse plastic onto the greenhouses. We have a machine that makes that. And there's no telling how much wire around the world that thing has run. Mm-hmm. It runs many days, 8 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So.
I mean, it goes into technology too. I mean, just website upgrades over the years.
Yes.
Order processing upgrades and systems. I mean, it's hard to make the changes, but once the changes are done, it's definitely a step forward for the company.
And I'll be the first one to tell you, not everything has been smooth. With technology, everybody makes it sound like technology is going to fix all the problems. It doesn't. You still have
It causes about 10 more problems before you fix the first problem.
You have to have the humans figure out how to work the machines, and that's really what it is.
Yeah. So what are you most proud of when you look back?
Wow. I guess more than anything, it was just I did it. So.
In the beginning, did you think you would?
Nah. Well, I thought I would be successful, but
You didn't think it'd be this?
I had no idea it was going to be like this, or I figured I'd be a working stiff. I'd just be working for myself.
Yeah.
So, and 20 years. We're 20 years in. I don't even think when I started it, I even thought about where I would be in 20 years. I was just trying to, Tracy and I were just trying to make sure that the bills were paid, make sure although the boys, I think, were out, they were still in school, and we still had that to take care of, and You know, there were just, we had to live lives like everybody does. You know, it's a little easier today, but I mean, we're no different than anybody else. We
Yep.
get up and go to work.
Yep. What has been the most rewarding part of running Grower Solution?
You know, there's two sides to that. I have been fortunate enough to see many employees that have worked for me over the years grow up, mature from I'll say, kid to really a mature adult, and I watched them grow up in front of my eyes. That's one thing. And be successful not only at business, but be just successful with their family and their life.
And move on to do greater and better things.
Move on, and you know, that's one thing we have always said. You know, Jacob and I have always said that if someone is leaving us, and it's for bigger, better things, hey, you go for it. We can't help you. You need to go move on and do better, and I'm happy to say the majority of them do.
Yeah.
At the same time, it feels real good when you stumble across people, or I don't get on the phone much, but you talk to people on the phone when I do answer, and it's somebody, and they'll take you down memory lane, and it'll be somebody I think of one lady that I knew when she started her greenhouse. She's still doing her greenhouse, and I can still hear her, and it's kind of a scratchy voice. I don't want to say her name, but I could tell you her name right this second, and I don't get to talk to her that often, but I just know her voice, and she calls us, and she loves talking to us, and she trusts us. That's a big deal, because again, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We really are. So.
And the fact that you're able to build those relationships means a lot. All right, so what's your favorite product that we've ever carried?
Oh, gosh. You know, I really am happy with a lot of products. I'm proud of our greenhouses, of course. They're a good product at a fair price. But you know, we were in the mail order plant business for many years, and I have a love for plants that it just amazes me and fascinates me. Just
you can
watching
grow
them
just about anything.
And I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I got the time to put to it, that's the biggest problem, is it's hard to find enough time to do it.
Greenhouse or garden? What's your favorite to work in?
50-50, it's the same. And it depends. You know, I'm one of these guys, Morgan, that has 20 different hobbies, and I'm not great at any of them, but I'm average to good on all of them. But I just, that's my personality. I bounce around at a lot of stuff, and I enjoy gardening. I enjoy greenhouse.
I feel like it depends on what your goals are at that time, too.
Yeah, because everything is so seasonal in this industry. You know,
Yeah.
everything changes. Every season changes something different.
Yep.
So,
If you could grow anything with zero effort, what would it be?
zero effort. Well, this will sound crazy, but if you see some of the big container nurseries or the big field nurseries, and it could actually be just like gardening plants too, but you just see these vast fields of perfectly sized shrubs, bushes, flowering hanging baskets, and they're forever. You think, how in the world are they going to get rid of them all? And they still sell them all. That just amazes me, and to me, that's very, very beautiful. So,
What is your favorite thing to grow? If you had to pin it down
Containers.
to one One plant, flower, vegetable, whatever. If you could only grow one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'd be pretty bored. I'll say a tomato, but it's hard to pin it down with me.
I would have said hosta for you, because you love hosta.
Well, I do love, yes, I love hosta.
Don't you own, what's your hosta URL?
MrHosta.com.
There we go.
It was a bit of weakness. I bought that domain name. And in fact, at the time when we did plants, we were the only company in Tennessee, but we were probably one of just a handful that had every one of the top 100 hosta in the United States by the Hosta Growers Associations. But I'm here to tell you, you only sell about the top 10. You don't sell the other 90.
We used to sell a lot of hosta.
We sell a bunch of hosta. Hosta, you can't kill them. Heavens, my mother couldn't kill them. My grandmother couldn't kill them. I don't know anybody can kill them.
I tried to kill them at my old house, and I could not successfully kill them. They kept coming back.
There you go.
And that's even after I tried to dig them up.
That's what you were wanting there is hosta.
Let's see.
Personally, I'd be happy with a good tomato plant.
Well, vegetable-wise, yeah. If you could only grow one thing for the rest of your life, I feel like you would want to go for a vegetable because it will give you food, whereas plants, I don't know how good a hosta would taste.
I don't
Hosta
think
salad?
very good. Rhubarb.
There you go. There you go. I'm sure if you
Okay.
douse whatever with enough ranch, it'll taste pretty good. What's your favorite salad dressing?
Blue cheese,
Really?
ranch, Thousand Island, French.
No, you like it all.
Not at the same time.
Oh, okay. That would taste funky.
That would be pretty nasty.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Buffalo for buffalo wings,
Okay.
and blue cheese for buffalo
I'm strictly
wings.
ranch. I will not venture any further than
Well,
ranch. There's
yeah.
some people who don't eat any dressing on salads, and they just eat the greens. Would you do that?
I've done that. You see, it hadn't worked. I'm still a big guy.
Okay. Do you have a message for the customers who have supported Growers Solution?
You know, probably the best thing to say is thank you so much. We appreciate your business. Always have appreciated your business. Hope to keep getting your business, earning your business. You know, if we're not doing something right, let us know. We can't fix it if we don't know. Just don't, you know, I'm sure everybody has a bad day and they'll be mad at us. But, you know, I've been frustrated with companies I bought stuff from before, but we end up getting it worked out. So, but thank you.
Without our customers, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yes, ma'am, very much so. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
Well, it has been 20 years. We have talked with Roger. It has definitely been a fun, interesting, and worthwhile 20 years. And hopefully we will have another 20 years to go.
It's gone by a lot faster than I ever imagined.
Well, it goes by quick. I will say
Yes,
that.
very
I mean,
much
even
so.
since when I started, I'm like, how has it been this long?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for talking.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next time.
See you guys.